I think it's crazy that I have to say this to begin with, but I don't condone any violence. I don't think anyone should lose their life in the way that Charlie Kirk did. I think that's pretty self-explanatory, but for the most part, you have to say that when you talk about this topic, unfortunately. Charlie Kirk, we all saw the video, was shot, what was it, 2 days ago now. There's been a lot of discourse about it, right? And I just want to share my thoughts. Today I was listening to Stephen A talk about it, and he made a video about the shooting and how people have been reacting to it. And I have some thoughts. I do have some thoughts. I think the way he explained it, he oversimplified people's reactions to it. And I just wanted to share my 2 cents. I'm nobody, I'm just a guy talking to a camera, and hopefully you get something out of this. I don't even know how to label myself politically, but I'm on the left, and I clearly did not agree with Charlie Kirk. And the other thing is, a lot of people don't know who he is. He's a right-wing political activist. I guess you can call him that. He's not in the political sphere in any other way than being an activist, which is very important, I feel like, because people are calling this an assassination when it's really not. It was a shooting. He got shot. And if that bothers you, then I don't know what to tell you. He was speaking at Utah, at some school in Utah. I think it was Utah Valley State. He was speaking about mass shootings. The last question he was asked was about mass shooting. And then he said, are we going to include gang violence in this? Right? Are we also including gang violence? And then that's when it happened, right? You get on Twitter and you start hearing people talk about, oh, I'm glad he got shot. He was a great American hero. And people getting mad at people for not feeling sad about Charlie Kirk. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. I didn't celebrate it. I didn't feel sad for it either. And I think a lot of people don't understand who Charlie Kirk really was, to the point where they don't understand why people are upset or not upset that he died. And some people celebrating. And I love talking about politics. I do. I will talk someone's ear off about politics at any point. A lot of people don't like politics. And if you don't understand politics, if you don't like talking about it, then you won't truly understand what he stood for when he lived. And when I say he's a far right political activist, I don't mean that he's like a conservative that I can agree with some, like on some points with. He literally compared abortion to the Holocaust. And if you think that's true, then I don't know what to tell you. So people will say, oh, he was killed for his political beliefs, right? That's not a political belief. That's something that's harmful to other people, right? Like if there's a woman that wants to go to get an abortion, which I hate, if a woman wants to go get an abortion, I'm okay with that. Go, that's your body, go take care of that. But if there's a man that believes that a woman getting an abortion is equivalent to the Holocaust, then he may go out and harm a woman to prevent her from getting an abortion because of that belief. It's not a political belief. It's a belief that is harmful to other people, right? He also said that black people have a baby mama issue. And I'll explain why this one was really bad. Now you have other people saying, yeah, y'all do have a lot of baby mamas. Yeah. So now when someone that so happens to be a baby mama tries to get assistance and tries to do better for themselves and for their child, right? They get frowned upon. They may not get the same assistance because someone believes that they are not worthy of it. You can't, I guess the crux of what I'm saying, and I'm doing this like off the dome. I think the crux of what I'm saying is that you can't go around saying whatever you want and not have the reasonable expectation that somebody can harm you for your belief. Them beliefs that I named are not political. Those are not political beliefs. Separation of church and state is a political belief. That's a political belief, right? And I think that's one of his that he had. Like he did not want to separate church and state. That's a political belief that he had, right? But saying that women that get abortions are equivalent to the Nazis is crazy. That's a belief that can get you harmed, right? And again, I'm not condoning what happened to him, right? What happened to him was very gruesome. It was very hard to watch for some people. And it wasn't like, I don't think that should have happened to him that way, for sure. I agree with that. However, you have to, if you're going to have some of these beliefs that harm other people, you have to have the reasonable expectation that you can get God. And I'm not saying that should have happened. And he also, in my humble opinion, this is my opinion, I think he's a little irresponsible. Like, if you're going to have these thoughts, you also have to think about your wife and kids, right? Like, now everybody feels sad for the wife and kids, which, I mean, the kids lost a father. And I think that's very harmful, right? But he didn't think, maybe he did, but I don't think if you go around with a harmful ideology that you are actively thinking about the people around you. You're not. You can't go around to college campuses and say like half of this stuff. You can't say that you don't like transgender people and then get mad when transgender people don't like you back. And then the people that follow Charlie Kirk can get mad at the transgender people because he doesn't like them, right? And my other problem with this whole thing is that everyone seems to want to force everyone to feel sad about this. There are people that, if I'll tell you this, if that happened to me, right? If I was speaking and I got shot through the neck and I died, no one would care. They wouldn't care. And that's just the fact of life. Like, some people just don't care. Some people, unfortunately, will celebrate. That's just the way it is. You can't force people to feel sad, especially if they're part of the group that he didn't like actively. You can't do that. That just doesn't make sense to me. I'm not going to force people that are trans to like Charlie Kirk because while he was alive, he actively spoke against them. It just doesn't make sense to me. And also, where was all this outrage the exact same day that he was shot, right? There was a school shooting in Denver, and there were 3 kids that were injured. And I promise you, I didn't hear a word about it until, well, I saw one thing about it online. And this happened literally like 5 minutes after Charlie Kirk was shot. Not a single word from the people that were like, you guys shouldn't be celebrating his death, said nothing about those kids in Denver. Said nothing about the countless kids that have been blown to smithereens in Palestine, all because it doesn't fit their agenda. You know, if you're going to be upset about Charlie Kirk, you need to be upset about these other things that are going on in the world, because that's kind of weird for you to not do that. You know what I mean? And also, there have been shooting threats at HBCUs the day after Charlie Kirk was shot. And I'm kind of confused as to why we're blaming black people, because a white person did it. It doesn't, like, it's fake outrage. And I think that's what's more insulting about it. Is like, if there were people that were genuinely upset about it, then it would be, all right, I understand why you're upset. But there are people that are like fake upset about it and don't speak about any other topics. It's hypocrisy at this point. Like, what are we doing? But this is just like my raw, uncut reaction to what happened 2 days ago. I don't feel sad. I don't feel happy about it. I'm kind of moving on with my day. And then also 9/11 was yesterday. That was like, most people didn't even recognize that 9/11 was yesterday. So there's that as well. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, disagreements, agreements, put them in the comments below. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe for more videos. I know this is like a political video. We usually just play games over here, but I'm definitely going to speak more of my mind on this channel as well, just so that y'all have a piece of like my personality, know who I am. Yeah, till next time, y'all.